humility, and you have to be humble. You must have compassion towards the struggle and shortcomings of others. That's gentleness. You have to have you have to have compassion towards the struggles and gentleness of others, especially those facing difficulties. You have to be kind. You have to show them. You have to be humble to them. There are people that is going through stuff, going through things, but now depends on how you approach them is very important. Jesus connects gentleness to humility in Matthew chapter 11, verse 29. In Matthew chapter 11, verse 29. Can somebody please read Matthew chapter 11, verse 29? Matthew 11, 29.
Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your soul.
Okay, thank you. My Bible says, take my yoke upon you and you learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble in heart, and you find rest for your soul. So he's marrying both gentle and humble together. So you're going to find rest. So true gentleness breeds humility. So they walk hand to hand. So you have to be humble, you have to be gentle. They always have to go together.
How can one show that gentleness? How do you know somebody showing it?
Okay, for me, I can give an example. Okay, like I first said that the shortcomings is like sometimes you might be going through a struggle or you're going through a pain. But let's just take it back like what you just asked. There was a time I was going through something. I was just so down and everything. And somebody came to me and just spoke rudely to me. Mind you, I was already going through, I wasn't right, like my spirit was bothered at that point. And that was what I can snap then. But what I did was I just became quiet. I just said I was sorry. Despite the fact that I was going through something, but you don't know what I was going through. But it was the way I now acted. I just said, oh, I'm sorry if you think so. I didn't even say it, I just said I was sorry. But that would have warranted a big fight, or somebody will have started exchanging words. But rather than doing that, I was gentle about it.
Is he the one who should have shown gentleness towards you, or you should gentleness towards him?
So it's vice versa. Yeah, it could be vice versa because the person, I don't know what I did, but the person saw something that was not, the person wasn't happy about. But I didn't know that. And I told you already, my mind was somewhere else. And I was like, I'm sorry. So that's gentleness. So it can happen whichever way you can like, whichever way.
Yeah, but you're only responsible for how you respond.
Yes.
Control how you respond.
Yes. In Second Corinthians chapter 10 verse 1, Paul also tied gentleness to humility. You know, Jesus ties gentleness with you have to be humble and you have to be gentle and humble in act. Also, Paul also tied gentleness to humility in description of himself. So if somebody can read 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 1. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 1.
Now I, Paul, myself, now, Paul, myself, am pleading with you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, who in presence am lowly among you, but being absent am bold towards you.
Thank you. So he also ties gentleness and humble together. So I know he talked about meekness in that passage. Also, sometimes people also put meekness and gentleness together. You have to be meek. Many people think that when you are meek, you are weak. So many people also think that if you're gentle, you are weak. But in reality, meek means having strength under control, taking control of situation. And also, like I said, gentleness is confused as weakness when you react calmly in a situation like I explained. So when they came to me to my face, I was able to put it down by being calm in the situation that made me mad, that would have made me mad.
What was the initial definition of going about? How dictionary defined it?
Oh, he called it that the quality of being kind, tender, and
Okay, kind.
mannered. Yes.
So when we say somebody's a gentleman, oh, this is a gentleman, not a gentleman. Gentleman. What are we saying?
Oh, a gentleman.
Because he dresses well, he puts his life, so he's a gentleman.
That's the definition of the dictionary.
But that's not.
That's not what we're talking about. Yes. Okay.
So you don't have to be gentle to be a gentleman.
No.
You can be a gentleman, but you know you're not gentle.
Yes.
Okay.
So for the fruit of the spirit, you have to be gentle and humble at the same time. So why do we want to demonstrate gentleness? Why do you want to demonstrate gentleness? Can somebody just, it's an interaction section. Why do we want to demonstrate gentleness?
Oh, no?
No. It's this section.
Because as Christians, we want to demonstrate Christ-likeness, being gentle and meek, just like when you went to the scripture in Matthew 11:29, that is a display of the character or quality of Christ, is meekness and gentleness.
So I want more examples of, because I don't want to get the difference between how somebody is gentle and how somebody is patient with somebody.
I will just still, that's what I was just asking. I'll give
You
you
can give it.
Yes. Okay, in Philippians chapter 4, verse 5 tells us that let your gentleness be known to all men. Let your gentleness be known to all men. Why does God want those He's working with be concerned with how gentle they think, they act, and they talk? There's a reason why God wants us to act well, think well, and act well. He wants us to be gentle when addressing situations, when talking with the congregation. God has all the power in the universe, yet He's gentle with us and wants us to learn to be like Him. He's gentle with us, and He also wants us to be like Him, like Sister Sean said, to have a Christ-like, to be Christ-like. Then when He gave us power, He wants us not to use it cruelly or harshly. So when we are all reading this, the fruit of the Spirit is so important of gentleness, because like I said, God has the power. He can treat anybody anyhow. But He has given us the gift of the Spirit. He has given us all these gifts. Now He wants us to be able to use this wisely, kindly, not rudely or harshly. There are people that once they have the power, everybody will know about it. Everybody will know about it. Everybody will be they will be harsh about it. So as we see, humility is closely connected to gentleness. So we need to also consider how God views humility. In James chapter 4 verse 6, James chapter 4 verse 6, and 1 Peter 5 and to 5. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 5. Both says the same thing. God resists the proud, but give grace to the humble. God resists the proud, but give grace to the humble. It's also written in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 34.
So for somebody to be gentle, they have to also have humility. Humility is a must.
It's a must, because they go together. You can't be humble. You can't be
Gentle.
without being humble. They breed each other. It's interwoven. Yeah. God resists pride, including our prideful justification for not being gentle to those who have offended us. Remember, I said somebody came to my face and I was able to be quiet about it. So He doesn't like it. So we have to be harsh to us, or who have been harsh to us, who do not feel that deserve our gentleness. Of course, in this world and age, there are some people that are so rude to us that you feel that if you don't come to them, they will become more rude to you. But He's saying that in every situation, we should still be gentle to them. We should still be nice to them.
So what was the reaction of the person when you demonstrated gentleness towards their harshness?
She just went away.
Yeah, because what happened is they were coming to my face, and I knew that it was the devil. It might probably not be the person. It was a time maybe my testimony was coming. And if I've reacted, the whole place will have been on fire, my name will have been reading all over the place. So at that point, I just have to. But in reality, I was not in that mental state not to react back to her. But I chose to. You see what I'm trying to say? In a real situation, most people will react back.
Reaction.
The reaction, yeah, they will act. They will act harshly and they will start exchanging words. But in my situation, I don't know why, but I knew something positive was coming. I just kept quiet and I said I was sorry. You see what I'm saying? So from the examples here, okay, you want to say something?
So, as gentle as a what? We usually use how
Gentle as a dove.
As gentle as a dove.
Yes.
Yes.
Wise as a serpent.
Good, fine, all that. Nice. Nice. We have the sheep. Sheep, right? Gentle. Then we also lions. The lion of the tribe of Judah. So how can we be lion Christians and still gentle? Jesus Christ was gentle, but sometimes he was also harsh. You brood of vipers, you take anything and creep you. How does it match? A lion and a sheep, a dove and a...
Didn't you say, no, okay.
Actually, like I remember like what you told us and what the label is saying that for you to be gentle, it means that you have to be humble. And you said that being humble doesn't mean somebody kneeling down or somebody being submissive. That's not humble in the sight of God. Because somebody can show that, but every single time that you tell them about the purpose or about the will of God, that's when they reject. So in the sight of God, they're not being humble. Being humble means that you be obedient to the will of God and being submissive to what God tells you to do. So you can be humble, you can be gentle as a lion, meaning that if somebody...
Lions are not gentle.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh,
no, like you asking us, that's a question you asked, that how can you be a lion and still be gentle? And I'm saying that if somebody is on the Lord's side, of course, you're not gonna roar. You're only gonna roar to somebody who is acting against the will of God. So then, if you act against the will of God, that part, you are still being gentle because in the sight of God, you are fighting for the Lord. So you're not being disobedient to God. So that's how Jesus was gentle, but when he saw people rebelling and going against the will of God, he has to put them right. So
He was harsh.
yes. So
So, gentle doesn't mean always when somebody stands in your face. And gentle. Sometimes the Lord will make you roar back. And it's not because you were not gentle, but the lion.
But you are defending the God.
Like you said,
I'm
yes.
I'm saying that it's not every time that a Jezebel will come and stand before you and scream. And then there are times the Holy Ghost may tell you, be gentle with this person. But I'm just some days too, you may roar. To roar against.
I think it's just a matter of what the situation calls for at any given time. Because, you saw Jesus displaying different, like you just explained, different characteristics or attributes of God the Father in different situations. So I think it's just whatever the situation calls for. If he needs to be assertive, then you need to be assertive. And sometimes you need to fall back. Even if you don't want to. You just have to be led by the Spirit.
Still have somebody else.
So being gentle is not just everybody just being durable and durable.
No.
Always, you know. Because sometimes people think Christianity is stupidity.
That's what I explained earlier on that so many people think it's
What
weakness.
does your husband say?
No, I mean, I wanted to ask a question that when exactly do we have to draw the line? Because if you go through the scriptures like Moses, the Bible says that
He was the meekest man.
he was the meekest man,
Yes, I
the
was
most
thinking that
humble man on the face of the earth. But if you look at the life of Moses, I mean, there are some times that we think that he's even a very wicked man. So just think of Dathan, Abiram, and Korah. I mean, they spoke against Moses, and Moses commanded the earth to open up. But at that point, I mean, if he was gentle, he would have just asked the Lord, have mercy and change their hearts.
But I feel that
So,
when it comes, I feel that when it comes to the fruit of the spirit, it's something in you. But when it comes to that place of prayer, when we need to like be like a lion, you said, I think it will come out. You see what I'm trying to say? But when it comes to the fruit of the spirit, it's something that we have to like, it's part of us. It's love, patience, gentleness, peace. Peace.
The fruit of the Spirit is not part of us, it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yes.
Because it's hard for you to show love to somebody who is hating you if the Holy Spirit doesn't give you the ability to do. But I think that the part that your husband was saying, I think that when it comes to, you see, like, so that's why it all comes with you understanding what meekness is, what humbleness is in the sight of God. Because then some of the judgment or some of the behavior you will judge. But if you see, during that time, the Moses have to pray for the Lord to open the earth to swallow them up. The Moses have to make it clear who is on the Lord's side and who is also on. Because remember, these people were standing against the authority and the power of God. They were telling the Israelites that Moses, that they should desert Moses and come and follow them, that Moses is not the only person that they have to follow. So they were actually rebelling against the will of God. And every single time that somebody stands to rebel against the will of God, I think that the judgment of God have to be provoked for them, because remember that it wasn't just
It may
them,
look harsh.
it was
It may look harsh,
it
but
may
it's still
look
the person
harsh,
is gentle.
but the person is still obeying the will of God.
And
That's
still
what I'm
gentle.
saying, that the humbleness, because somebody can be so submissive. Like I remember, let me read this.
Elisha commanding lion to devour these children who were criticizing him, bald-headed man. Was it a gentle thing for Elijah to command bears to come and eat him up?
No,
I think he did.
No.
Just because he could.
No, like you know what?
Was he gentle?
No, like he wasn't gentle. But the thing is that when you also look at the spiritual side, there's no way children can gather. Somebody was behind it. So who were the ones behind it? Because how can all these kids come together? Please, like kids just don't get up just calling names. Who brought those kids? I mean, Bible didn't give us details, but I think that there
You
was
are adding
a
your
hand.
details to it.
No, I'm not adding my details to it, but I also think that during that time too, maybe too, he wanted the people to also know, for them to also fear God.
No, I'm just saying the balance so that somebody does not just live here in the name of gentility, whereby sometimes you are confronted with evil and you think gentle. By the time you finish in gentility, they finish you out.
But remember what Paul said? Paul said, when I'm among you, I'm gentle, but when I'm out, I'm bold. So basically, I think once you are maybe like in the congregation of the righteous, anywhere that acts right, you have to be gentle with people. But once they come boldly, maybe outside the church or somewhere, I don't know. Well, basically, I feel gentleness in a way. So this is my own take. I still have some to go, but this is my own. Okay, this is my own take. Is I believe that the fruit of the spirit is actually very important, like Reverend Mr. Esther said. But it's something that it's not easy, but it's something that we ask the Holy Spirit to give it to help us. But I feel that when it comes to gentleness, most of the time. It kind of takes you a long way, being humble and gentle. And in the secular world, I believe that it opens a lot of doors. Not looking at now, because like if I'm going to have at work, for example, I get a lot of spirit awards, but most of the time is that when I get into the patient's room, maybe she don't have a surgery, she's in pain, I'm smiling, how are you doing? And before I leave, she gives me a letter to the hospital and say she deserves the spirit that needs a ward. So what I'm trying to say is that one way or the other, being gentle, even in the secular world, is important. Of course, people will test you. When I first came, let me give an example. When I first came to this country, I was so quiet. Like, I was naive, like, very, very quiet. Very, very, I mean, so when I started working, one man saw me from Nigeria too. He said, they're going to eat you up in this country with this character you have. Like, you're too quiet, you're too gentle. And truly, when I started working, people would come to my face, and I cry a lot. Like, I can easily, I'll be like, after a while, I said, one day I just screamed on them, like shouted, and said, just leave me alone. But you know, with that was one time thing, and ever since then, they respected me. But does not mean that all the time I'm now being rude to them. You see what I'm trying to say? But I still went on with being gentle. But I showed them that I'm not as easy as you think. But still here, I believe that gentle and being humble still goes a long way. I think it's just one part that people look at you and say, I want to follow your God. If I've done this to you, if I've done that to you, and you're still not so bad to me. You see, I just believe, for me, I believe it's very important. I mean,
just real quick, like to kind of piggyback off of what you said, because I know what you're saying, like it makes you stand out because it kind of goes against the current, like what people would normally do or how people normally would react in certain situations. So it makes you stand out and make people wonder about how you're able to do that and react in those like that and those type of situations.
Can I say one thing? Like actually, without you being humble and patient, I mean not patient, like gentle, there's no way you can get ahead in life in anything. Because even like in my profession, like actually, like our final years, actually the students that actually have difficulty are those that think they know everything, and they send them out because then the preceptors, they will fail. It doesn't matter how much you know, because they take you there so that they can break your will. Actually, like you have to be humble, respectful, and gentle. Like it doesn't matter. Like you may not know much, but if you are humble, your preceptor can show you everything. Or you can be so smart, but then if you are cocky, they will not show you nothing. And trust me, the things in the book is not the same thing like as you begin to practice. It's like your preceptor have to open up and show you, like, you know, I never worked like when I was in school. But when I came out, I was just humble, like the text, they were kicking me here and there. But my preceptor, like, because I was so humble, just 2 months, she showed me everything I have to know. So like when I got my license, I knew everything, and I was so good. So they were like, "But how did you come? You know so much." No, my preceptor told me everything because I was taking charge. I was doing everything. So gentleness and humbleness, you need it because it will take you. Like you know, like some people will even open up doors. Like they don't have to do it, but because you are so gentle and humble, they will show you because they don't have to show you. I mean, like you can like you can just show you few things, and you will go and struggle on your own. But
Remember,
if you humble,
remember the scripture will say that be wise as, be gentle as doves, wise as what? Serpent. For you are in the midst of what? Wolves, like sheep in the midst of wolves. Now there are people too who look for the gentle ones so that they can come and devour them and take advantage and exploit them. Because you are the weak link. So everything, they will call your name. Trash, go for it. This, and if you don't learn to say no,
like
and
I
stand for
said,
yourself.
Are you talking about the naive ones or the gentle ones?
naivety and whatever it
No,
is.
there's a
But
difference between naive, for you to be naive,
you know,
and
some
for
people
you to be
explore it,
gentle.
so you don't understand. But I'm trying to understand. Gentle. This guy is so gentle. Okay, I'm going to push him around because
It's
he's
gentle
going.
does not mean stupid.
But then I
But
say
people
something.
perceive that way. That every time you are quiet and I'll take the blame. I'm going to be the one to stand out. I'm just saying that how do we discern between when to say no, please. My Christianity is not stupidity, or my gentility doesn't mean I am weak, and therefore you can't push me around. Because we are in a very hostile world whereby people are looking to take advantage of everybody who shows weakness.
We didn't ever answer Ayo's questions, the same question you had, like, where do you draw the line?
So
When
it's
you
coming
draw
back.
the line, like for example, like I can, like like I can use my profession as an example, and then I can give another example. For example, there's a young graduate student in my workplace now, right? The girl, theory, she's good, but when it comes to practical life, working, she doesn't, because like when somebody walks to you to ask you a question, less than a second, they want you to give the answer right there. You should know it like that and be confident in saying it. So the pharmacist saw that she doesn't know her stuff like that. So then he wanted to help her. She said, you know what, start with production. Because the production is so easy, just going to grab the drug and come and count. So the girl now look at it like, this is not important. But you, like every single time you're going to grab the drug, you're learning strength, you're learning the drug, you're learning how to pronounce, like when you count
It's a
it,
process.
it's a process, you're still learning. You may think that you are not learning. So like when do you draw the line? This girl at this point, she doesn't have to prove or she doesn't have to say anything, because right now you are not in a position to say anything. Right now you swallow everything until you get your license. Then now if a tech is talking back, or that's when you draw the line. But you
But
don't
you
draw the
sometimes
line.
the text has been trying to push you around. So tell
Yeah,
us how
I'm
you
saying
do that.
like right now, right, there was like this place that they took me there, right? There was one tech that was an issue. So I was like, oh God, give me grace for me to handle this girl. Because one, like actually she's my girl. She can be my mother. So that's the problem that all the pharmacists in the store is having. Because this lady thinks that she can talk to us anyhow because she thinks that she can give birth to us.
But which is true.
Which is true, yeah, because like she's older
So
than
she
us.
doesn't just think.
No, like you know, like so, like every single time that you want to send her something, she'll tell you, no, I'm not doing this, or every time you say do that, she will talk back, or she will just give an answer that she said that. So to me, like how I'm dealing with this now, I went off her 2 times, and now she knows that she can't cross some line. So, and the other pharmacists too have warned her, even gone to a level of telling her either I'll let you go home or I'll write you up or something. But there's a point that you have to draw the line that you can't, because if you don't, other texts are gonna also follow. Because the thing is that I have almost like when I go in the beginning, I have like almost like 4-6 texts. So if one text is now disrespecting you, talking back in front of customers and stuff, definitely if you don't let them know that hey, you can't do this, other texts will join. So definitely you have to draw a line. But as a new graduate coming in, you don't have your license yet, swallow everything, because right now you want the pharmacist to show you everything. And the thing is that in this profession I'm in, if I don't tell you everything, if I don't show you everything, you don't know. Like even like just in insurance rejection, just a code, you'll be stuck the whole day and the patient will be yelling. So you still need some text. And remember, the pharmacist cannot teach you everything. Some of these texts, they are very, very good. They've been there for years. They know the codes. They know all the inside out. So you still want to learn. So if they say do this, you just humble yourself and do a few months.
It's all about humility.
Yeah, you have to humble yourself, especially like if you don't know everything, and in case that you go to a new job, be humble. Some people will talk down on you, be humble, but make sure you learn. And once you learn and you know the thing, they, of course, they cannot walk all over you because now you are in that position. But if you're not in that position, you have to swallow it because you have to learn. They have to teach you.
Sister, you wanted to say something.
Or am I?
No, I think Reverend Mrs. Arakali
I
said
don't
it.
know. But
But the thing
that's
is,
what I did. And it helped
just
me.
like what she said, it's very right. And I guess professions are different. There are some professions that will go in there. I mean, maybe they will know that a young pharmacist, they will try to help you out. But there are some other professions that they are expecting you to know it. So when you come in and you're acting so humble and they will know that, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
No, but you
So-
can be humble and
No,
still.
no, I mean, I get what I said. It's always good to be humble. But when you start asking some humble questions,
No.
you see, now they will know that, oh, but okay, like what I wanted to say about drawing the line, it's always good to always draw the line. Because if you don't draw the line, people will get over you and they will keep doing it. I have somebody at my work, right? And this guy, when he's talking, he always talk as if, I mean, he's always better than you. And the fact is that the guy, I mean, he has much experience than I do, and he has even more certifications than I do. But the fact is that what I'm doing is different from what he's doing. So, but when he's talking, he wants you to know that, oh, and we don't work for the same company. I've had him talking to recruiters and all that. So there was a time that I was talking to a recruiter, and I mean, the recruiter was asking him, I mean, how much he's making now, how much he's willing to make. And when he told the recruiter, I looked at him, I said, with all his pride and everything, I'm still making more money than him, but I don't say anything. Like today at work, right? He came to work, and he was just going to the microwave and all that. He was talking, and another guy came in. They were talking. Oh, now told the other guy that, oh, I'm going to tell his boss to start paying him more money. He can't see that he can't even afford lunch.
Wow. But yes, still his pride is.
His
Yeah.
pride, so
So-
like, because his pride, you're not even gonna tell him.
I mean, I can't tell him. So today, right, I wanted to, I mean, I was looking for an address, and I asked him that, is this particular location far from where we are? Then instead of him to just tell me yes or no, he was like, oh, you have Google Eyes in front of you. And he said that is the best search engine in the world. You know that with Google, you can actually zoom the area, you can do this. I said, Kevin, can you just keep quiet? He kept on talking. I said, keep quiet. Then, when I shouted on him, he said, oh, I mean, it looks as if you are getting aggressive now. I said, yes, I'm getting aggressive because I want you to keep quiet. Then, he now kept quiet. Later on, he now stood up and came to tap me like that. I said, no, I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to tell you what you can do with Google. I said, see, you are still talking. You see, so sometimes, I mean, it's always good to
Draw a line.
to draw a line.
Sister Lisa, you be quiet today. What are you absorbing?
I lost my train of thought. Go back to me. Let's get back.
Okay, let's continue. But all I'm saying is that in this world as it is, people are looking for sheep and doves, and there are foxes in the midst of. We are foxes. That's what Jesus says, that be wise as the snake, because you are a sheep in the midst of what? Wolves. So if you don't, as we are learning these fruits, if you don't exercise the wisdom of the serpent and you just become mere, a wolf will easily devour you. So I'm just saying is that it is a fruit we have to exhibit, but just let the Holy Spirit teach you how to use it in different scenarios, because you are in the midst of what? Wolves. And when they see you smelling like a dove or a sheep, they just feel like eating you up. Until you have to let them know that, hey, I choose to be humble, I choose to be meek, but that doesn't mean you can devour me. I can be better than you and do worse, but I am choosing. Immediately you make that statement that you can roar, but you choose to be humble, they say, okay, I will not mess up. But if you don't show that and come back to yourself, they will say, oh, you are good for eating. They'll eat you up. There are some wolves around, they'll eat you up.
But, I mean, sometimes you have to, maybe, if you have to let them know right off because they don't know you. But the word says, people know you by your fruit, just like what she said, they all, like, my understanding is they already knew you. And then when you just went off, they said, but they still knew your character as a gentle person, so they really respect you. It's not like you were like that all the time. So, yeah, that's.
Sometimes they will push you as to your limit. They are trying to find out what limit can I push this lady. And you realize that you are being nice and the person is just pushing. At the point you say, hey, please, I'm not stupid. Cut it. And then they will cease.
And the sad part is that there are always people who way older than you, like your mom. So I think
it's very difficult.
Yeah, so that's the place I'm like, until I have to get to their face. And ever since then, everybody respected them. So before I left the place, so
it's just like you said, you have to show them that you choose to be gentle and that you can roar, like you said, like
yeah. So I think we've spoken a lot, but let me just finish with what I wrote. So God wants us to show some gentleness that Christ showed to the woman caught in adultery. Okay, so we're going to talk about that one in John chapter 8 verse 11. In John chapter 8 verse 11, we all know the story about the adulterous woman that the Pharisees and the Sadducees brought to God, to Jesus. So instead of being full of pride and self-righteously casting the first stone at the sinner, we were to follow the example of Christ, gently telling someone to go and sin no more.
So gentleness must help us not to be quick in judging people.
Yes.
Wow, that's to me that's something God is teaching me in another dimension that hey, we are too quick in judging people. And the next minute the person you are judging, you will find yourself doing even worse than the person. And so we have to be.
Yeah, we should not always be the first person. We could read that John chapter 8 verse 11 and just have an idea.
Before I lose my train of thought, somewhere in the Bible it talks about husbands, be gentle to your wives because they are weaker vessels. So even
them according to understanding.
yeah. Meaning that even a husband dealing with a wife, because they are weaker, you have to be more gentle, not harsh. Then parents too, I believe parents should be also gentle to their children.
Yeah, because the Bible says do not provoke. Do not, because what happens is that some parents do provoke their kids. So we say do not provoke. Your children, but then it also says children obey and respect. Yeah, so it's like everybody has.
Do you provoke your son sometimes?
Well, we as children of God, we provoke God all the time. He still blesses us, he still shows us gentleness, meekness, he chastises, but in a gentle, meek way, you know. So I have to learn that.
So how can we husbands be gentle to our wives? Sunday you escaped me. The Thanksgiving, my wife by force, by fire, told me to give her a Thanksgiving card. So I wanted to tell you to demand a card of Thanksgiving from your husband. So you have to get
it. Because she knows that for women, right, there's more virtue in a woman. But because the woman is also a weaker vessel, if you, the man, you're not gentle, that you can help your wife and your wife can bring all those good qualities to help you, or you can be harsh. And the thing is that because women are so emotional, that's how God made us, you can break. Do you get if you are so harsh, you will damage the woman. And but the thing is that if you're gentle, even handling her, you'll be able to bring those good qualities in her.
I also believe that when a man is gentle to a woman, there's something about marriage for me is that
what a gentleman does for a woman.
Yeah, that's how I would first explain what marriage is about. you guys coming together as one, and there's always a lot of blessing. So now, when a man is gentle to his wife, it allows things to flow, the glory of God to flow. That means that whatsoever God has in plan.
How is gentle? I want to know what are gentle, and like your husband always giving you right to work. Is it gentle?
Oh, that is
That is nothing.
that is response, yes.
Oh, you see, it is not responsibility. Me, I don't give my wife right to work every day. It is not responsibility. It is really kindness. Oh.
It's kindness.
it is.
It's love.
So I'm saying that what are the things? What was God trying to say? We should be gentle.
Being affectionate. but that's
What is? How do you define affectionate from a man? No, just people. Somebody's learning. Somebody's learning.
Go ahead. I have
Affectionate is
a different
different.
perspective on that because everybody has different love languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a very affectionate person, but my daughter is. That's her love
So how
language.
do you
It's
show
just
affection?
touch. I have to touch her. If I touch her on the back, she's satisfied because that's her love language. Some people's love language is positive affirmation. Like they like compliments. Some people like gifts. Me, I like it when you do things for me. When you take out the trash, when you clean.
But
That,
that's
you know, so, no, affection is this. Touching
but
and
it's more
loving
to
and.
affection.
What is your
You're
affection?
showing affection by taking the trash out, buying you things. That's my affection towards you. It doesn't.
If I clean the bathroom, it's not affectionate for my wife.
I
I would spend all my time. Hours. So come see this.
I do say thank you.
My husband, thank you too.
I'm surprised when she says, maybe a tissue or something is there and I pick it and I give it to her. Oh, I'm so grateful. Or, but
You want dishes.
bathroom is a big, to me, it was a big thing I'm doing. But it doesn't have
And
to
then,
move it.
yeah, and then with the love languages, you could be to her that's your way of showing her that you love her, but that's not her language. So she's not receiving that. But then everybody has different personalities. Some people are more, softer than other people. So you might have to be a little bit more gentle with that person. So I think that's why the scripture says, dwell with them according to understanding.
You have to
Because
understand the
everybody,
person.
yes, understanding them.
But what your husband does for you is not responsibility. It is extra use. So just remember that.
All right, sir. Thank you. I always tell you thank you when you drop
Yeah, like
me.
you're always taking her for a ride and you think it's
It's
responsible.
not responsibility. Yes. So,
My husband doesn't drive me to work all the time.
I'm very grateful that you mentioned it. Now I know how she's thinking. I think it's a responsibility. After I've gone to work, I'm back. I'm so tired, and I will now face the traffic going to DC again. Coming back from DC also in traffic. I think it's my responsibility. Thank you.
then I think she deserves the card. She deserves the card. Get
I'll
him
give
the
you a
card.
card.
No, but I'm just saying that some things we may take it for granted, but it is not for granted though. The person is really doing it. But to me, I respected him when I said, hey, every Sunday this man will live here and drop. This is extra grace and thing. Keep it up, please. Don't stop it. Keep it up. It is a blessing. Let's continue. Please summarize and let's go.
All right. So basically, we've learned everything about gentleness, basically. So Jesus is saying that we should learn from him. Because I think it was one of the major examples in the Bible in John chapter 8, verse 11, Matthew 11:29. I mean, everything was just about gentle and humble. So it was like, we should not judge people if you have not seen. Just be gentle to, like, when people come to ask you a question, the question might look stupid, but does not mean that they don't know. Just be gentle to answer them. Just be nice to them.
And also, as a church, there are people who come in and they may not be matured to our levels and they'll come in with their own. Do you understand? They are not coming into the seafood and they are not mature, so they'll come with all their behaviors and sometimes you pick up, oh, this woman is this person is this. But we should be gentle in helping them grow up into maturity. Because there are mature Christians and there are immature Christians. So gentleness, because sometimes I've seen things and I say, "Ah, how I wish I could react to what, but God says be gentle. They will learn it with time. So I just have to be gentle. But I want to just let them know that you go to another ministry and you do the same thing, and if they are not gentle, they will say it. But and they are right because it's a protocol. But now I see maybe somebody will come in and maybe just come and walk on there. They are young. They think it's another platform. So now you just rebuke and be gentle, and then with time. Even sometimes coffee in the church, and people are sipping it. It's cool in America, but in another setting, it's not. It's a taboo. It's like you don't come to the presence of God and drink. So, but you have to be gentle to the person until they understand it, and then they will now understand. Do you understand? So this, but I'm just saying that you can go to another setting and they expect you to be mature, so they'll rebuke you that, hey, how dare you drink when I'm preaching? Would you do that before a president? Do you understand? In another setting. But I'm talking about different levels that even I had to learn that people are coming in with different levels in their Christianity. We have to be gentle with them. Like I believe that some people come in, we are praying, they are sitting down. Then you may say, hey, I remember Mr. Fred. Mr.
Yeah, the person don't understand.
They don't understand. Maybe they are coming from what they are so tired that when we are praying, they are just all they can do is do this. But you would think that they are not.
Right.
Stand up, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We have to be gentle in understanding until we grow people. Understanding.
I got a question. I invited one of my coworkers to the conference the
This
last
one.
time,
Okay.
and she was there the Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And she was sitting in the front.
Mhm.
She didn't stand up or anything. She just sat there reading the Bible. But before I invited her, we had some kind of confrontations about how she found God. She found God. She had an accident, and that's how she found God, because she was, meant to had to, be in the house all the time. She hurt her back or whatever, so that's how she found God. But she said she'd been going to church, and then she's been seeing things wrong with the church and telling everybody what's wrong with the church. I said, well, it sounds like to me you may be flowing in the apostolic or something like that. And we used to get into deep conversations. And after I got in the conversation, I said, this is wrong. We don't go back and forth with any God. And that was wrong. And she loves to look at debates on YouTube. People just defending God, But in a nutshell, she said, I'm looking for true worship. And that's when I invited her here. So when I invited her here, I guess since the word didn't go forth that morning, she was like, she left, and I didn't get much feedback, but she said, well, I'll come back, and maybe this time I'll hear the word. But I was like, I thought you wanted true worship. So I was like, I don't know, maybe she was scared. I don't know.
Some people come in, they are coming from Catholic background, and so they come into an environment, and that's what I'm saying, we have to be gentle in seeing people. Because some people are coming from Catholic, whereby you go and it's rosary and you sit down, and then they come in here and we are going back and forth. It's like, what jungle is this? So we have to be gentle to them, to know that, hey, they may be coming from a different background. Even the tongues, they may not even understand.
But she did say she was gonna come back. So apparently something intrigued her. However,
but never came back.
but she said she would.
Maybe she
She
said it to
seems
just.
like she was like personality would tell you she ain't coming back if she didn't want to come back.
I figured maybe she found somewhere else to go.
Oh, she was looking for a church.
And some
She
people
said she
too.
was looking for true worship.
But that was my second question. What did that mean?
I
What
didn't
is
ask her
true?
that.
And if she been going to one church to another church,
different
you know,
things to different
Because
people.
that morning I was in a rush. We was like transferring, getting on, going through our routes, and she was saying, I need true worship. I said, well, come to this church, Fresh Fire. I said, where is that? Right across the street from the health department, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, okay. And then later on I met her and I gave her a flyer. And she showed up. And that was it. We never really got into it because we barely see each other. So.
And some people, it's much more, they are looking for a perfect church. There's nothing like perfect church. If we were perfect, we don't need to come together. Jesus came for imperfect people to make us perfect. And so I think it talks about tolerance. We have to learn to be tolerant as different people. As we are about to grow and new people are coming, and I love the way you handle some, because some people are having different levels, and we have to tolerate and.
I was thinking maybe she found something wrong because that's like I said, she was going to different churches and she was
So
finding.
you always find something wrong somewhere. Nobody is perfect.
That's why I figured she would come back, but she said she was.
The day she finds that perfect church, her presence in that church will make it imperfect. For she herself, she has problems. That's why she's moving from one place to another place.
And then you also gotta understand that different churches have different mandates. Like, this is a deliverance ministry. Although we all need deliverance. However, you have to understand your season and where you are with God and not judge a particular ministry because that's not where you are at the particular time. So, but it takes a level of maturity to understand that.
So finally, my final note. My take is for us to live each day putting yourself in the third place. We must always remember to put God first, put others second. That requires humility. So in everything we do, I should always think about myself first, God first, what people are going through, and that's just humility. Third, yes.
But the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. So we have to love myself first enough to have enough love to love you.
Definitely, you love yourself. But for you to love someone, you have to first love yourself. That's why you can love God and I can love Sister Shen. And
yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't express love. Amen. Amen. 1 minute. You did great today.